I'm Turkish Ramen and Thuranki Ramen Churaka. Thank you for selecting this video on spiritual warfare. I already have a video here that's been doing pretty well as far as views go. Best I've ever had. Best response I've ever had. A video called Hardcore Spiritual Warfare. In 2 days it has going on 1,800 views. I've never experienced that before. I've had channels, a variety of kinds of channels here on YouTube for going on 20 years now. None of them, no video I've ever made in any genre, anything, has ever got a response like that. So here's another video on spiritual warfare. But I want to point something out first. It just makes sense to me that if I post a video, upload a video that gets a lot more views really fast, more views than any of my videos have had, no matter how long they've been on YouTube, then, and there are comments, more comments than I'm used to seeing, that there are going to be a few comments, like a small percentage of comments that are going to insinuate themselves in the comment section under a video that's getting a lot of views. There's the potential for nasty comments, haters, trollers, naysayers, whatever. Did I say that before I continue? If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, then do it now. Activate the notification bell feature while you're at it. Share the joy of this channel with others, starting right now by giving this video a thumb up, lest you forget to do it later. Now, back to what I'm talking about here. So, yeah, I got, in connection with that video and one other that's getting some decent views in the last few days here, I got some comments. I want to tell you what they are, and then how I think about these things, and what I do, and how this carries on over then into spiritual warfare talk at a more general level. All right, here are the comments. Schizophrenia seems, seems awful. Schizophrenia seems awful. Implying that I'm schizophrenic. All right. Another one. Yes, you can't have hardcore spiritual welfare or warfare without asking for thumbs ups and subscriptions. Thank you. My dinner has arrived, but I'm going to hold on here and continue the video right now. Let that cool down. Thank you very much, Allie.
You're welcome.
All right. What was being implied, I think, unless by some twist of oddity, I think what is meant was the opposite of what was actually being said with the words. There were two negatives in there: you can't and without. So it makes it sound like the two should go together, requests for thumbs up and subscriptions, clicking on the subscribe button, and hardcore spiritual welfare go hand in hand. But I think it was the opposite that was meant. Like how the hell do you have hardcore spiritual welfare if you're asking for a thumbs up and you're asking for people to click? Another one. What was it? Oh, yeah. In my video, under my video about leaving yourself a message for yourself, in some future life or a different part of the life cycle. The comment was, this guy needs to leave himself a message for the future. Don't take drugs and upload YouTube videos. And I can't remember the other one. I don't even remember the other one right now. Okay, so listen. If you have any urge to do that kind of thing here, this is what I'm going to think. This is what I'm going to do. And this is why I'm going to do it. I'm going to delete it. Is that because I'm a coward? No, what I would rather do is tell your ass off. But that's just giving a naysayer, a troll, a hater, a wise ass, a little too much attention, really. Most YouTubers, creators and uploaders, let those things, they expect that there's going to be that, and you just ignore it. Don't even think about it. Ignore it. Let it run right off your back. There's no sense taking any other person. I'm not like that. I could practice doing that, but I don't even want to. No, I'm not schizophrenic. I have borderline personality disorder. That's a totally different ballgame. But it's severe. It's a severe personality disorder. Along the lines of antisocial personality disorder. There's also multiple personality disorder. There are others. Borderline is a personality disorder. It doesn't mean it's just on the edge of being one. The word borderline does not mean that. It's a somewhat outdated term, actually. But anyway, has nothing to do with anything like schizophrenia. That's a different ball game entirely. All right? First of all, I just wanted to make that clear. But with borderline personality disorder, there comes the intense experience of everything. Everything is felt. Subtleties are felt, experienced. There is awareness of them. And everything is part of an intense experience. All input, all sensory input, and mental activity. Right? And it goes along with heavy PTSD. Because life, for someone like me, borderline personality disorder, is so intense that it creates it's kind of like a trauma going on all the time. Some level of trauma, and it makes a huge PTSD pattern. It creates one. All right? So when I read such comments, I feel it. I feel it. And what I'd like to do is be face to face with the people who make such comments and engage them in dialogue about it and beat the shit out of them mentally and verbally. I have made replies to some comments like this in the past, and the people who have posted them delete their comment. I've had that happen. It's almost every case. Anyway, I delete them because I don't want them there. I don't want to see them. But moreover, I don't want anybody else to see them. Look, I don't know what motivates people to do things like that, to make comments like that. But moreover, I don't know what has influenced them in that direction. What things in their lives have influenced the person in the direction to do that, or what things may be influencing the person, what energies, what thoughts, what thought forms, what other beings, what disembodied souls hanging around. I have no idea what the nature of all that stuff is with respect to this person's motivation or urge or just impulse to do that. I do see it as a very serious thing. I think all of that considered. Very serious thing with respect to my channel and you. I don't want any of that influence here in any form, and I won't have it. No. It's going to be deleted. That's all that's going to happen. So why do it? I'll see it once and I'll delete it. Block you from the channel. You do it again with another YouTube username. I'll block it again. It doesn't, and eventually I'll find your weak spot if you keep doing it, and I will verbally attack it in a comment. Most likely you'll just run away, stop doing whatever you're doing, kind of feel like, you got me, you got a response, but you back down. That's right. If you do acknowledge that part of it to yourself, you might feel like a dog running away with its tail between its legs. Maybe piss on its leg on the way or something like that. Just don't do it. It's not welcome here. It's not welcome here. I'm not going to have it. I don't want those influences, those energies involved there. Not just what comes with the comment, the words, or the psychological effect it might have on other people. How they think about this channel and the material on the channel. No, I don't want whatever's behind it all that. Astrally, mentally, spiritually. I don't want any of that here. So, buzz off if that's your tendency. Don't even visit the channel. It's not for you. You're not for it. But now, moving forward. Spiritual warfare. Well, let's take a look at a couple of those comments. All right? Schizophrenia. All right? If, let's say, the person was serious, thought I was schizophrenic. All right? Well, let's just consider that for what value there might be in that for us. Or about asking for a thumb up, and a click on the subscribe button while talking about spiritual warfare. What about me sitting here and smoking some weed during a narration? What about me smoking tobacco? What about me acting just like I do? What about any of that? What about all of that? I mean, that certainly doesn't sound like, those things as a set, just those things I just pointed out, don't really spell out, spirituality doesn't just jump out of those to you, Well, let me ask you this. What do you think about how perfect do you have to be? How much of an ascended being, an avatar, a savior, a lord, a this, a that, a guru, whatever, a priest. How much of any of this do you have to be to engage in spiritual warfare, your own spiritual warfare? How much is required? How much obeyance of local laws does the person have to engage in? Do they have to obey all laws? Do they have to be like just a perfect person? Whatever everybody else in the world takes to be one. Like, it's unanimous. Well, that's a perfect person. And here's one. All right. How close to that do you have to be to engage in spiritual warfare? I mean, can you be so bad off, so far down the rungs, down on the lower rungs of the ladder, man? It's such that to engage in it, you got to get someone else to do it for you. Your priest, some being that you can't see, some specific sect, religious, would that be required? Just what's required here? Do you have to either have somebody stand in for you and do it, or have some level of social acceptance standing up to your, having an integral and integrity-based relationship with how you act in your, with your culture. How much? You don't need much at all. So I smoke some weed. I have my reasons. In fact, I'm not breaking the law. I never did it on a video back when it would have been breaking the law where I create my videos. Huh? I happen to have a medical prescription for it because of the PTSD effects. So what? I'm not explaining myself to you at all. I'm telling you what I think when this shit happens. All right? I knew of a yogi, Indian yogi, who had an ashram, or, he had some followers, whatever. He was their guru. This guy was, I don't know what his special emphasis, yoga-wise, Yogata-wise, was, whether, he was Raja Yogi or whatever, but, he was a teacher. He was the real deal. And for some reason, he broke a law, and he got put in jail for a while. Not a long time, maybe 30 days. But he would often not be in his cell when the cells were all locked down. The hourly or half-hourly rounds that officers do, corrections officers do. They'd look in his door and he wouldn't be in there. They, at first, were very alarmed, and it went to a big to-do, Ends up, he was walking around up on the roof of the jail. Well, after all the dust settled, after that, and he was back in his cell, a couple of days, I guess, had passed, and did it again. He kept doing it. He didn't go anywhere. He didn't escape. He just got up on the roof. He was walking around up there getting some fresh air and some sun. Now, say whatever you like about what this person's character really was now. Or, that's it. No, that doesn't match up, like his career and what he's doing. And being in jail in the first place. And then he's like playing with their heads. Come on! That just doesn't sound out spiritual to me. Go get over it. It doesn't matter how what you're like either. You can engage in spiritual warfare. It's up to you. What being are you going to depend on anyway if you're going to, depend on some other being to do this for you, to stand in, all right? To work on your behalf. Your guru, your savior, you're this, you're that, your leader, your tutor, your mentor, your teacher, your guide. How do you know? How would you know whether you are submitting yourself to a person, being, entity, ideology that's in your own best interest? How the hell would you know? Or you might have some very good evaluation and analytical evaluation, assessment tools at hand. Yes. Yes. Based on patterns of things and how such people, when they're genuine and when they're not, what their differences are that you can notice. Yeah, all right, whatever. But trickery, deception, consciousness hijacking. you could be fooled. And if you're going to stake your spiritual welfare or progress, whatever that means to you, if you're going to depend on something, somebody outside of yourself to take you on the way, put you on, be on your behalf, you could be totally deceived. It could turn out really bad, if it ends up to be kind of like an eternal relationship you're getting into. Or just a temporary one now. But you do major things. You develop in major ways. What if they're really not in your best interest? It's very consequential. Better that you engage in your own spiritual warfare. But what do you have to know about it? There are some things to know. Sure. There are some things to know that you might not find out through other people, any other person, for a long time, really. You may never learn from that person. Things that you could just put right at the top of the list of the things to do. To engage in your spiritual warfare, because they are the ultimate things. The real things, The core things. The essential things. Those are there to know. That's good. That's a good thing. There's a starting point. There aren't a lot of them, but there's a lot that goes into them to bring them to bear. But they can be brought to bear to some extent right away. Pretty much right away. And practice makes perfect. All right. What else? I think that's about it. Oh, yeah. A commitment. To cut out the dark force, the consciousness hijacking, the perception deception. Just cut that out and add development and establishment of your true selfhood, your mastery of yourself by yourself. Right? Those are the biggies right there. All right? You can do that. You don't have to have a perfect criminal record. You don't have to do anything clean. Nice and clean. I don't have to make videos here that are nice and clean, do I? Well, I don't. I don't care. I don't even care about slick production. About watching what I say. Oh, man, come on. I don't have a lot of mental space and activity, available mental power, will or desire or interest in engaging in any of that sort of thing. It doesn't even enter my mind. And that's the way I like it. I see, when I get kind of these negative comments, these stupid things for people to say, then I'm aware of such stuff. And I have no interest in it, like I said. And that's why they get deleted. I'm not into it, man. Oh. So, spiritual warfare? Can you engage in your own spiritual warfare? If you can understand what I'm saying, and you are not severely mentally ill, like psychotic, paranoid, schizophrenic without medication, shit like that, right? Psychopathic antisocial personality disorder, or like severely bipolar mood disorder, you never level. Barring that, all right, and as long as you can understand what I'm saying, okay, then you can do it. You can do it. Be aware of who and what you really are, first of all. Your true self. There's so much said here in this channel about that. How to arrive at it, how to recognize it, how to make it real now in your affairs, and how to manifest it. It's all here. Come on. I'm not going to say a lot more about that, but that's critical. Right? And along with it, you must bear in mind and develop a relationship with the truth that your true self roots in something much more absolute. It roots in the isness, the I amness, just is. Not being, not a being, the absolute, beyond all being, beyond all space and time. Whether there is or not a manifested cosmos, the absolute just is. There. And that's where your true self roots. Be aware of that. And your will, your power of will, your individualized power of will is your individualized access to and use of universal will. Like a big grid, power grid, happens to be willpower. In the ocean of mind, the cosmic mind ocean, mind power ocean. All right, bear in mind your connections with both of these, your relationships with your utter dependence upon them for your existence and ability to act, power to act. Now, that inner core of you does not change, just like the absolute does not change. Get familiar with it, see? Then you are in a position to be able to engage in spiritual warfare. You could understand what I just said, right? And I said there's a lot involved in bringing these things to bear. Yes, but all right, I only named a couple. They're the they're the fundamental things. Yeah, you do that. You get to a point when you're comfortable with that, right? And you're in a position to engage in your own spiritual warfare. And what does that involve? That involves different for each person, They're at different points in their battles, their awareness, their capacities to do things. Some have greater capacities than others. It's just a matter of the starting point, the individual starting point, and that's all, really. So it's going to vary. But look at the other video that I posted, Hardcore Spiritual Warfare. That's my way. Should be something along those lines. It's a way that you view yourself and the world and the universe, the cosmos, and what you perceive to be happening, and how much of it is something other than something or someone, some whatever other than you controlling your life. Your life meaning your thoughts, the way you feel, the things you do, the things you believe. How much of all of that is coming from outside of you and then becomes internalized? Almost all of it, right? Now, how much of it would you really like to have be the way it is? I mean, consider the possibilities. Consider the possibilities the most you can from the point of view of your core isness, I amness, uninfluenced, influenced and not changing, unchanging. And how much, whatever, all the rest that there is about you, would you rather have a little more free, more under your control, more under your management, more strong, more rooted, more self-controlled, more self-evolving, increasing your own consciousness, becoming more than what you are, controlling all of that, right? Would that be better? If so, then you have a spiritual war at hand. Now that you're aware of it, now what do? Well, you have to do something. That's not the sort of a thing to become aware of and then do nothing about. No, it's not like that. No. If you understand what I'm saying to you, then that's a hilarious idea. Wow. Bad thinking. Alright, so you gotta do something. It has to do with your true self, the absolute, and your will. And its mental, a functional opposite, desire. Alright? Going to have something to do with those, right? So you make it a point to decrease your influence, the influence of outside entities, influences, power, whatever, beings, social institutions, social phenomena that occur, whatever, right? Like decrease their impact if they are not in your best interests. And instead, evolve yourself as things open up, right? To become more conscious, more aware, more able to experience love, more self-knowledge, etc. Those basic desires, the core ones, increase in those, develop that relationship with the absolute, with the core of beingness, with life, the life principle, the divine, without and within, that true self. And develop your connection with the whole, the universal and the absolute aspects of all of those characteristics just named about you. Because those things about you are grounded in those things about that. And they're grounded in those. All right? This is a very strong stance. And a very strong stance. Become aware of the energies involved. You will. You will. It'll happen. You become aware. Then, if you have a YouTube channel and you post videos like this, right here, and you smoke some weed while you're doing it, and somebody gives you a wise-ass comment to the video, you'll probably delete it. While thinking about, for an instant, like smashing that motherfucker in the face. Oh, and then decide, but wait, let naysayers be naysayers. No, you're more aware of things than that. That doesn't cut it. No. You don't want that kind of influence, right? No. Hanging around your channel if this is the kind of videos you post. Right? You get it? It's a matter of spiritual warfare. You can do that. Don't get somebody else or something else to do it for you. Or just, act like it's happening for you. Like, no guru, no savior, no spiritual leader. Oh, you can draw on the good parts from what they've said and from their stories of their lives. You can do that. Sure. Get out of them what you can. Look for the common elements and so forth. Get to the bottom of things. I've done that. All of that. And then I let you know what I have found and put together out of it. You can do it too. You find what I say that stands up to reason and also rings intuitively true for you. And then you put it to work. Remember, you must do something. You cannot walk away from it. Once you understand it and recognize it, gain awareness of your spiritual war, you must do something. It's unimaginable to feel perfectly fine with doing nothing about it. So what do? No, I'm telling you what to do. Here and elsewhere on this channel. So stick around. Stick around. If you don't like my delivery style, if you don't like my appearance, if you don't like my behavior, if you don't like things I do while I'm making videos, well then, look, what are you here for? What do you really want? When you click on a video that's on a channel like mine, the way my thumbnails look, well, except for these last few, 10 or so with just my face, but all the rest, okay, well, even the way I look with just my face in the thumbnail, with video titles the way that they are, okay, what are you looking for? What do you hope to find? What do you expect? You expect bullshit? You expect clickbait? You expect same as a lot of other ones? Who knows which one was the original? The original ideator? And then who copied who? Or it gets very, No, what do you want? You want somebody who speaks right at you, who means what he says, and knows what he's saying, and is doing it to help you. Because most of it, if not most of the content of the videos, right? But also a good portion of it you've not thought of before. or you haven't thought of it like that before. And then, usually the subject matter is like, really, wow. Expositions of matters that perhaps you might think of in a flash of thought once or twice in your life. And just like, man, I hope to get back to that one later, but, right now I'm doing something else. Well, you find that sort of thing here. So if you don't like the way it comes across to you, I don't know what's going on with you. I don't know. You're getting what you want. You're getting what you should get. That's what you're getting. You're getting what you should get. And what maybe you forgot you were actually looking for because you just want to look for clickbait now. Or you want to be appeased by the same old, same old. Like a whole bunch of videos that all say pretty much 2024 is when there's going to be full alien disclosure and demons are being unleashed at CERN, the Super Hadron Collider in Switzerland. And it's about, like this year, you have to get saved. You have to accept Jesus as your Savior, or this is it. Time is running out now. The end is near. Well, that's been said. I don't know how long that's been said. Over and over and over and over. So look, what do you click here for? Huh? The actual stuff that addresses all of this stuff, all of these issues, all of these affairs, these subtle, deep, very significant matters about the world, and the universe, and the cosmos, and you. Well, then that's what you get. Now, your own spiritual warfare. You take what you find here and you apply it as it stands to the test of reason and rings intuitively true to you. And that's what to do. Not because I said it, but because now you know what to do. If you like this video, give it a thumb up. Subscribe to the channel, get notified that way. New uploads. Share the joy of the channel with others. Thanks for selecting this video on spiritual warfare. Yours. I'm Terry Strongman of Tharanki Ramacharaka. Be well.